Okay, now I'm going to read out of John chapter 9, verses 1 through 12. This is about a man who was born blind and he receives his sight. Now, as Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind from birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had said these things, he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And he said to him, Go, wash in the pool of Siloam, which is translated sent. So he went and washed and came back seeing. Therefore the neighbors and those who previously had seen that he was blind said, Is not this he who sat and begged? Some said, This is he. Others said, He is like him. But he said, I am he. Therefore they said to him, How were your eyes opened? He answered and said, A man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes, and said to me, Go to the pool of Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and I received sight. Then they said to him, Where is he? He said, I do not know. Okay, so the first thing I noticed in this, and I underlined it, was that Jesus saw a man who was blind from birth. And then the other thing I underlined was when his disciples asked him who had sinned that this man would be cursed with blindness. Did he sin or did his parents? Jesus answered, Neither this man nor his parents sinned. So I wrote notes in a spiritually discerned way. I wrote that he was chosen. It says in Jesus' word that he knows us from before we were even, from when we were still in the womb. He knows us. So I believe that this man who was born blind was chosen, not cursed. I also wrote notes that that he was chosen in this manner as a way of being set apart. Those that are chosen, those that that he finds in some way or another, I believe, are set apart. And then he says that I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And then he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. So I believe that even as Jesus left the world, that as his spirit lives in his chosen, he is still the light of the world. And as far as the clay, I believe that the clay is kind of how we are when he begins a good work in us, when he gives us purpose, when we give our will to him. He aligns it and he claims it, and he continues to mold and to shape it. Being that this was the manner in which this man got set forth in his purpose, is why his eyes were anointed. This is how he was set apart. This is how he received his sight. This is how he was sent forth for a purpose. And this also goes into how he told him to go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is translated sent. And as soon as he did go and wash, he came back seeing. So he was sent forth with this new purpose, with this new life. And as I went into my concordance and looked up the word sent in this passage, the Greek translation meaning of the word sent in this passage is actually listed as set apart. So when others had seen that he was blind and received his sight, here's the testimony. Here's where we get to share where we were and where we come from, and that Jesus lives. So he answered them, and he tells them, a man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and I received my sight. Now, again, this is a very personal thing, because while he was still blind and had the clay in his eyes, he knew where the pool was when he was told to go there. He was able to tell these people about this man Jesus and how he made clay and anointed his eyes. So he received his sight after he washed and came back from the pool. But still he was able to tell these people exactly what happened leading up to that. So therefore, again, this is a born-again conversion experience. So when they ask him, where is he? And he answers, I do not know. This again goes that we don't find him, because rarely before we're born again to him, we don't really seek him. Maybe we believe, but even the demons believe. And so therefore, what do we do with it? Maybe we have some belief out there, some knowledge out there, but do we really seek it? No. He finds us. And it goes back to the beginning when it says he saw a man who was blind from birth. Thank you.